Hello, my name is Garick, Hough, and I'm getting baptized today. So whenever I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of Christian background. My grandma was Catholic, so we would go to church with her every now and then, but not a whole lot. And it would just be like off and on. I would go with a friend to church, and that's really the most that I had. So throughout my whole life, I always knew that there was a God. I always knew that there was something more powerful than me, but I kind of fought it my whole life because like religion and God, it just always had this negative stigma growing up. So I just had a different opinion about it. Eventually, some things would happen in my life that would just be like an aha moment, like that couldn't have been anything else other than God answering prayers, just like speaking to me. I feel like I've always had a good heart, and I've always wanted to do what's best for other people more than myself. And so I knew that like that had to be God in me too. But I would just always ignore it. And then I got a little bit older. I got into drugs and anger. I was always really angry. I grew up in an abusive household, and that just took a whole nother turn for the worse. I ended up going to prison, and then in prison a lot of things happened too, because I picked up a Bible and I read the Bible, and I read it over and over and over, and I read it from one cover to the other cover like a story, and it just spoke to me in many different ways. But there was still like this resistance inside of me. So then I get out of prison and I move back to Ohio, and I meet this girl, and she's very strong in her faith, and she's a Christian woman, and I just like fell in love with her. And we would sit around and we would talk about our lives and how our lives had come together multiple times. And this time was like, it was just meant to be. God has had the most important effect in my life since coming home and being with her. Like, he's just so present, and he's just powerful. He has filled me with joy and love and peace and understanding. And I've met so many people that are Christians, and they just changed this whole view of God that I've had of God. And I have read the Bible more, and it just speaks to me differently every time I read it, every time I pick it up. James 1:2, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all, without finding fault, and it will be given to you. And I've had so many trials and tribulations in my life, and every time, I just always come back to God. But that's my favorite book in the Bible is James, because it just speaks to me a lot about faith and the works. James 5:7, be patient then, brothers and sisters, until the Lord is coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for the autumn and spring rains. You too, be patient and stand firm, because the Lord's coming is near. All you gotta do is be patient and listen to God. I pray every day for patience and guidance, and here lately God has been filling my heart with desire to help others, because I've come from such a negative place in my life, and the only way that I've gotten through it is because of God. And I know if I can do it, anybody else can do it. So I just want to help somebody. If it's just one person, I just want to help somebody. This last time that I went to jail, they're the Gideons that come in, and Bob Cooper was in there. And like the moment that I met him, it was just something clicked inside of me. And he would come back to the jail and visit me almost every single week. And it just meant a lot to me. And it was, again, just God talking to me like, listen, man, I'm here.
Garick, it's my privilege to baptize you today in testimony, public testimony of your desire to walk with Christ and to serve Him. So at this time, I baptize you now in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.